on the paper, not on the carpet. But yeah, we're getting ready for the NFL draft. They have their mock drafts of everybody, where they're going, what they're going to do. Hey, Charlie Sims. This is daytime. I knew it. At least be there. So we have in basketball, you got Tyronn Lue. He's in the opening for the Lakers. He's interviewing for the Lakers job since Walton only took him a little bit to go to Sacramento, get a job within 2 days. They let Luke Walton go. And then he was already hired by Sacramento before he left. You got a couple of things. Steve Eiserman, he becomes the GM of the Red Wings in hockey. We got the Orioles. The Orioles, they say that, the mentality of not swinging at stuff, the way that the analytics are going, that they're seeing improvement. The guys are patient at the plate. The pitchers are pitching up in the zone, throwing a four-seam fastball, doing all the things that the analytics tell them to do, and that they're doing. They're seeing the progress of it. Ohio State, another quarterback transfers out. Ohio State Baldwin, their quarterback, he's putting into the portal to transfer out. You had Jalen Hurst transfer out of Alabama. He's going to Oklahoma. So everybody gets to hit that little portal in college basketball and college sports where they can go to the next team whenever there's something that goes wrong or they're not happy. They let them move on and make sure that they get their stuff. Kevin Durant. You got Kevin Durant in the house, right? The draft. Let me look at the draft. So what's up, Charlie? Charlie. Say hello to Miss Crystal. Not Crystal at work either. This is... So all the... Let's see what the Ravens... There you at, little one. She's bouncing around here. So the Ravens schedule in the regular season: Dolphins, Cardinals, Chiefs, Browns, Steelers. That's back to back. That looks tough. Bengals, 3 of our North opponents: Seahawks, Patriots. Whew, that's a tough looking schedule. Bengals, Texans, Rams, 49ers, Bills, Jets, Browns, Steelers. You ended off with the Steelers. Another game that's going to count at the end against one of our North opponents. So we'll see how that goes. That looks like a 9-7 record, maybe. I don't know. Bills are tough. 49ers, they can rebuild. Garoppolo's coming back, but that's off of injury. You got Watson. You face some good quarterbacks. Bengals, I don't think they're going to be anything. Yeah, you get the Seahawks with the record-breaking, Mr. Wilson's contract. So he's back there. So you got to see Russell Wilson. So we got to see Wilson. Who else do we got? You got Big Ben. You always see Big Ben twice. You'll see Mayfield. You'll see Mahomes. They said that Mahomes' schedule doesn't favor them, that they got a tough schedule too, and that's not in his favor. We got the Cardinals. That's the second week, and the Dolphins. So the Dolphins are in a rebuild. The Cardinals don't know what quarterback they want. The Chiefs, they say that they got a tough record. Then we got Mayfield. Then we got the Steelers. Then you got the Bengals. So we face some good quarterbacks. Watson, he's a good running quarterback. The Jets, that shouldn't be too bad. The Bills, we should be all right. In the preseason, we play the Jags, the Packers, the Eagles, and the Redskins. And that's pretty good because they don't travel. It's not a lot of traveling there, The Eagles in Philly, they're right down the road. They don't hop on the plane. They don't go anywhere. They just get on the bus and go down the road an hour or two. So the preseason's good for the 4 games. I still hate the preseason anyways. I think it's too long. I don't think they should be playing 4 games. I don't think they need all that stuff. But it's all about the money. It's all about being in there. They say it's fair. They say that they got 3 primetime games, I guess, the Ravens. They say that the schedule is fair. It's a good schedule for them. That's what they're saying right now. So we got 8 picks. We got the 22nd picks. We got the third round. We got the 38th pick in the third, the 22nd pick in the third. We get the fourth round. We got the 11th, fourth round. We got the 21st, 5th, 6th. So we get 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 3rd, 1 in the 1st. So we get 8 picks, and we'll see if we draft back. Probably on the first day you won't see them draft anybody. And Paul Boley's in the house now. Paul Boley's in the house. And these guys are probably at work. Paul Boley. Hey, Boley. Paul Boley joined the party. We joining the party. But yeah, you saw the dog out, but I had the dog up here that we were babysitting for a little bit. But yeah, the draft is coming up. We'll see where we go. They say that Mr. Jackson is working out with receivers, doing all the, working on his mechanics. And they're saying that his off-season worth ethics have, spurned all the sports writers. There were guys on 105.7 that, Vinny used to bump on Joe because Joe would never get together with the guys. I got you. I got you, brother. I got you. Joe wouldn't get together. Joe was a family man. He stayed home with the family, did his stuff, whatever. This guy was out there working with guys from the end of time when it stopped. He got out there. I guess he got a guy to help him with mechanics and started working on his passing, getting receivers. Going out there. He's been working on his mechanics. So they say that he's he even said that his mechanics were the fault of what he did. But and then they say here that they're going to shore up the offensive line with the center, with the lineman from NC State. But they got a lot of good guys, a lot of defensive ends, a lot of good rush guys that are out there that we need too. Even though they solidified their offense by giving Yonda his extension. So they got a lot of stuff that they can get moving on. So the Caps, I went to the Caps game on Saturday, a playoff game. Now they're 2-2 tied. Carolina tied up 2-2. They were up 2-0. They went up 2-0. And now Yoshi gets hurt. TJ Yoshi, he's out. So now it's all drawn up 2-2. See if they can get out of this first round. This is a big game 5 for them. So the Caps and Ovechkin back in the hole, tied up. So now it's a 0-0. Everybody's equal, 2 games apiece. Like I said before, Steve Yzerman becomes the GM of the Detroit Red Wings. Durant's getting all kinds of stuff in basketball about where he's going to go, and the Clippers took him out. The Clippers took him out the first game. That came from behind by like 20 or 30 some points, and they came behind to win. Now Durant shuts them up and goes out and puts up 30 on them, and they end up beating the Clippers for the time. So here it says Jeff Fisher is going to go to the XFL for Houston, be the Houston's quarterback. Houston's manager. They say that he shut that down, that he's not going to be coaching in the XFL. We'll see when that happens. We'll see how much money he gets, and he'll probably be one of the first coaches that they hire. And all the big guys are out in the Stanley Cup. Pittsburgh's out. couple other. There've been some upsets. So the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Already? Didn't they just have those?
So now if we get there, huh?
Didn't they just have those?
So now if they get there, they don't have to hit their rivals, man. They won't be playing Pittsburgh. They just got to get through Carolina. Everyone else is. So the draft, they say that Jones from Duke will be a good prodigy, good backup for Mr. Brady. They got to start looking at somebody for these guys. Ben, Brady, Eli. All these QBs are getting old. They've been in the league 16, 17, 18 years. You got to start, addressing their quarterback, their backups, the guy that they want to take over, if they're going to do it. Not many of the teams do it that way anymore, where you get a guy to sit behind and learn. You've seen the last couple of years, the top 5 QBs, they get thrown right in there because of the money, the value that you put on them. They don't let them sit anymore. Before, you sat. If you were drafted as a quarterback years ago, you sat behind the guy 3-4 years before you got in there. Look at Brett Favre. He sat and sat. Finally got his opportunity. Same thing with Tony Romo. I watched the 20-30 for 30 on Tony. Tony sat behind Bledsoe for a while with the Cowboys. And then, Bledsoe goes down. Tony comes in. He doesn't do too hot his first game. But, Parcells saw it in him. He was saying the whole time Parcells was getting on him, telling him, trying to make him realize what he had, what the potential was. And Parcells saw the potential in Romo. I know a lot of guys. He was still a quarterback. He slung it. He made some things all the time. He made some bad decisions, maybe tried to force some things sometimes. But he did and he's a good analyst. I like him as an analyst. I like that group. Romo's a good analyst. They had his 30 for 30, and he was talking about all, he was undrafted or, comes in there. Like I said, Parcells saw something in him, put him in. First time, he didn't do too well. Second time, gets him to the playoffs. They don't win the first one. Again, goes to the playoffs. They finally win a playoff game with him. He should be in the Ring of Honor at least. Yeah, he ain't going to be no Hall of Famer, but he should be in the Cowboys Ring of Honor. He did set some records and hold some stuff for the Cowboys as a quarterback. So, I even think he took one of Aikman's records away from him. So, if anything, he should be one of their Ring of Honor. It's just like Haloti Ngata for us should be in the Ring of Honor pretty quick. And all these other guys that go have had good careers first and done things. But that's what we have. I didn't see any of my... Hey, get out of there. So the Orioles are 8-12. They're going to go to Minnesota. So the Orioles slugger Chris Davis, he gets an extension at a $33.5 million extension. Red Sox Pedroia plus he went on reserve again, injured reserve for his knee. So I guess he wasn't ready to come back. They put him out again. So the Orioles stand in third place, I think, behind I think it was Tampa Bay. Who's out there? Where's the Monkeys? Monkeys ain't coming on. Hey, Monkeys. You got Tampa Bay, the Yankees got up there, and now it's the Orioles, Toronto, and Boston at 6-13. Mancini's leading our team in all the categories of RBIs, runs, hits. So he's been the vocal leader so far. He's been that guy producing for us. And like I said, their pitching is, they're 8-12. They're at 400, 6.5 games back. We'll see where they are in July. See how they do there. When it comes up to the All-Star break, if they could keep on. They taxed their bullpen. Their bullpen was like the second most used bullpen in the MLB behind, I think, Kansas City. They were like at 6.1, and Kansas City's is like 6.3 or something. Most used bullpen in the majors. But that's then. They had a few guys. I think Cobb came back. He's off the injured reserve list. You're still waiting for a couple other guys. Then they'll be pulling up some of these guys from the minors to help fill some of the voids that they got there from. Look who it is. Look who's on. It's Mr. Wall. Are you Walter today? Or are you just here to stay? Are you Walter? You Walter yet? Or you're not at work, are you, Walter? Walter. Are you Walter? Or are you G-Buck because you're at home? Yeah, they say Rosen's upset because he doesn't know what's going on. Giants. So for Jacksonville, they had their OTAs and, they're not whatever, but two of their top guys didn't show up, Ramsey and Smith. Coughlin, the GM, he's a little upset with them, Guys aren't showing up that are their leaders. And he's just like mad. G-Buck's in the house. G-Buck's at home. Hey, G-Buck. Here comes G-Buck. Like. So you're G-Buck, not Walter. You gave in today? We're not on the Walter day. Walter. But, yeah, that's where they stand. Redskins. So the Redskins are keeping their defensive line intact. They just gave their last, they extended their last guy, so their defensive line's still up there. So they got, now I don't even know what they would be looking for in the draft. I guess they brought in some safeties. They picked up a couple. They bolstered their defense. You got a couple good running backs. You got a quarterback. I think who's your backup quarterback there? Is it, what's his name? The kid from Missouri a few years ago. Who's your backup? He broke his leg. Is he coming back? G-Buck? Your guy liked him, whoever it was. But they say Jones from Duke is going to be the pick for the Patriots to sit behind Tom Brady and get to learn some stuff. Yeah, Colt McCoy, that's right. McCoy. He should be your starter. Colt's not bad if he could just, he's been in that position a few times where he's always a backup and then he gets put in and, he has a couple games where he's good. It's just sometimes you just got to ease the pain with him. But McCoy's a valuable backup. Now you're still going to pay him money, though. I think he still has his contract, so you're still in a little bit of money issues with Smith. Yeah, he ain't going to play. He's got to be done. Yeah, he'll be all right. They say Tyreek Hill from the Chiefs, he was in the incidents that they were investigating. They said they took the child out of his home and all these guys doing crazy stuff out there. Everybody remember the golden rule: treat others as you want to be treated. Don't be handling things the wrong way. Keep your mind Yes, stay off the sauce. I say the Ravens are going to be 9-7. I say you're going to be the same thing. Your schedule isn't as you got a pretty tough schedule too. I think you're going to go 9-7 too. I think we're both going to be at the 9-7 mark. I don't think we're going to be anything there. I think we're going to get wins. I think we'll both be 9-7. 9-7 in your division can win it. Well, I guess in both divisions can win it. And last year, what we were 10-6. Both divisions, 9-7s in any division. You're still in there. Look at the Seattle in that division. Those guys are winning at 7-9 and stuff because they're so bad. 9-7 will get you somewhere. Might get you, a second seed in the wild card, but I think both teams have the opportunity to do something. You just gotta get your quarterback situated. We've been pretty good. We've only had one so far. We haven't had many other. We haven't had too much, We haven't had a lot of stuff. We've only had one dummy, and then they got rid of him. Yeah, Cleveland probably is going to win that division. That's on paper, though. I don't know. They still got to come out and you got to produce. You can't just go by what you're seeing now. They got to come out. I mean, he did have a good year, Mayfield, but now everybody knows him. Now there's stuff on film, a whole bunch of film on him that these guys are going to dissect now. Everyone's going to look at it. When he comes up, they're going to see every little thing that he does. They're going to put people in the box. They're going to do whatever, They're going to shore up their – but, now they got, with their wide receiver group. Cleveland has a good wide receiver group, so you can't just double in. You can't you can't double what's his name and think that that's it, because then you'll leave their other wide receivers open, and then they're going to have a heyday. I don't think Charlie will ever buy a Browns jersey, but that's all right. I would switch to a Browns jersey if they were winners, but I wouldn't do that either. But I'd follow them if they're exciting. I mean, I'm going to have to buy the NFL ticket because I ended up getting rid of DirecTV and stuff, so I'm going to buy the ticket to watch all the games. And I'll be following some of the Cleveland games and Pittsburghs and stuff like that. I'll be looking at that stuff. DirecTV was a pain in the butt. It always goes out in bad weather. Byron, you got my picture? Hey, Byron. Byron's in the house. Hello, Byron. Everybody know Byron, right? Byron's in the house. Look at the stuff I have to make up because you don't do it for me. I got to stencil stuff. You got to draw me some pictures, buddy. I'm on the other side there. Nobody's on my YouTube channel. I did do a couple workouts on there, so we're on the YouTube workout if you want to look at the Fat Man workouts. G-Buck, if you need a workout, I did chest yesterday. I did a Swiss ball, push-ups on the Swiss ball, stuff like that. Did a couple dumbbell T-bar push-ups where you go into a T and you raise the dumbbell up. Almost fell on my face. What other ones did I do? I did chest presses on the Swiss ball, crap like that. But it was mostly chest exercises. Today I'm going to do some biceps. I'll get on there. I'll show you my bicep exercises. My biceps ain't very big. But yeah, I'm getting ready for the draft. I watch that the whole time. I know some people don't like that, but I'll sit in front of the TV. I'll record. Just like I do with the combine. I record that stuff. I like the NFL combine. That's a good thing. I like watching those guys run the 40s. I like the drills. I like the 3-cone drills. I use that in every sport I do. I make the kids do it. Every sport I coach, I make them do the 3-cone drill, and I time how fast they are to see which kids I'll put in what position so that That guarantees me, if I'm playing lacrosse, what kid's going to be a midfielder, what kid's going to be an attackman, what kid's going to be a defender. In basketball, who's going to be my guard? They run that three cones real fast. They're my guards, and if they can handle the ball. In basketball, though, I make them do it with a basketball and dribble. But I always use those. That in the Illinois test I use, that's another one where they run up, they go around cones, they swerve in and out, they come back, swerve, run around the cone, and then they backpedal out. It's another test that I use for when I'm doing any kind of evaluating of a team. I use a couple of those drills, and mainly all that stuff is, you know, I like the backpedal drills for the cornerbacks that they use. They shut them up, they bring them back, they pull them, they cut, and then they throw them a pass, and they got to catch it. Nick Eberle's in the house, G-Buck. You see Nick Eberle? Eberle, the Florida man. He's in the house. Old Nick's on. Hey, Nicky. Nicky, this is an afternoon show. How's it going there, Mr. Nick? Nick Eberle's in the house, everybody. If you don't know Nick, get to know Nick. Hello, Nick. How's it going, buddy? Nick, you got Byron up there. You got G-Buck. You got Charlie. I don't know if Miss Crystal's still in there, but you got Paul Bowley. Paul Bowley, you still in? Because Paul Bowley's probably gone. G-Buck might still be on. All the other guys might be gone. Charlie might be on. We got Nick and Byron. Byron just joined, so Nick's on. Hey, Nick. Yeah, the draft to me, I like seeing who's doing what and who runs down. Who's going to see who's going to draft up, draft back, see who they pick. I like watching the guys that sit around for a while and they're just like, ah. And then when they get that call, everybody goes crazy and they do all that stuff. That's hard work. I've watched things, pre-draft stuff about what these guys go through. They're not just, they're working. They're doing different things. They're going out to different guys to, make that 40 time better, do this, make their pro day. The pro day is probably the biggest thing for them. You get 32 teams or however many teams want to come watch you. That's the thing where you got to be your best. I know the combine, something there, that has all the eyes on you, but your pro day is probably what makes it. So there's 4 steps of that process. First of all, you got to get there. You got to get nominated. You got to go. Then you go to the combine. Then you have your pro day. Then you have the draft. So that's 4 quarters of what they're working for. So everything they prepare for, they prepare for that combine. They go to the senior bowls and stuff like that. They get looked at there. They put stuff on tape so these guys can see what their quickness is, their explosiveness, and all that stuff. You got the quarterbacks. They go see Palmer. He was Jordan Palmer. He was a backup, and now that's what he does. He sent many guys to the draft, and he has a whole regiment for them that they go through. He has them sitting back throwing balls to receivers that are up on top of the hill so that they get that's a touch pass. So they have to put that arc so it goes up, because he's going. You can't throw a liner to somebody that's above you. You gotta put a little touch on it. So he does stuff like that. He works on footwork drills with them, makes them go back and forth, and then he has them deliver the ball. Works on mechanics. Same thing with Nick Bosa they had on the show called Pre-Draft, and what they did before the draft. Bosa had a guy out there that was timing his explosiveness. In the 40, his 10 feet, how fast it was. He was like at 1 point something, at the 10-yard mark. Then at the 40, they were doing different things, getting his technique right, getting all that stuff. It's all technique. It's all the process of how they're doing it. It's just that they're just not going out there, and it didn't come to them magically. Nothing comes to you easy. You got to work for everything. That's just life. Everybody, nothing comes simple to us, and nothing's for free. Like I always tell my kids, they think because you don't do something that's, oh yeah, that's nothing. They say, yeah, well, it's free. No, nothing's for free. I keep telling my kids that. Somebody wants to buy something, they say, oh, it's free for a week or whatever. It's not free. You're gonna pay for it eventually. They want to buy games. They want to do stuff like that, and the catch is it's free for a week. Then you're gonna start paying for it. But that's Hey, look who's up now. Oh, Munkus is around. What are you doing, old Vanky? Everybody's in the house now. We got Everly was up there. You got G Buck. You got Paul up there. Everybody's in the house. 1-15. I told you they're all going to go 9-7. You're probably going to do the same thing, 9-7. You'll go 9-7 too, but you'll probably win that division. It'll be you, the Redskins. I said they'll go 9-7 too. You'll have to play the Redskins in the tiebreaker because you guys will be up there. I don't think Philly's going to give you any problems. I think that Wentz is not going to be where he is. They got a couple. They still got holes to fill. I don't think Wentz is going to take them where they need them. I don't think he's ready. I think he's still gun shy of that knee. The other injuries that he's had, I think it takes a while for guys when they come back. That season right after they come back is always hard. They don't come, they're not as productive. It takes them a while. Joe, when he came back from back surgery, he wasn't too good. Last year he was doing well, but, ended up hurting his hip. We'll see what Denver does. That's what I'm going to look at. I'm going to watch that Denver team. We don't have to see them. We don't see them in our schedule, but we got a pretty they say it's a fair schedule. I think it looks a little tough. You got to see the Rams. You got to see the Chiefs. You got to see the Patriots. You got to see the Jets aren't too daunting, but then, we got a stretch where we see Cincinnati. We see the Steelers, and we see Cleveland back to back. We could be 0-3 in the division right away, off the start. But I think we beat the Bengals, so we could be 1-2 at Cleveland. Everybody's on the Cleveland gig. On paper they look good, but we'll see. They still got to win games. Their defense still has to stop people. Mayfield, like I said earlier, you weren't on there, Mankey, but everybody has a lot more film on him. He's not a rookie anymore. He could hit the sophomore jinx. All these guys now they got tape on them a lot more that people will dissect. Like I said earlier, there's more things they can look at than just one game. Now they got a sequence of things that they can just keep on looking at on them and really break them down. And by the time we get back to see them in the third or fourth game, there's more film that they're going to look at that they got. So it's just a lot of things when it comes to their second time around to see what he can do. Even if they got to keep him upright, they got to keep him healthy. He came out and set the rookie record for touchdowns and all that stuff, but now people know him. Now people see what he's got. So it'll be better. Dak they're going to have to give him some money so that they keep you intact. Your whole thing is both those guys are up for extensions. You're going to be giving a lot of money out next year. You got them, and you still have Cooper because you only gave Cooper. You're going to have Cooper, Dak, and Elliott. I'd take care of Elliott before I take care of Dak. I'd keep your running game. I'd give Elliott the money first and then see what Dak wants. And then now you got a problem because of Russell Wilson's contract. All these guys are going to be, what Russell Wilson got. So it could either help him or it could hurt people. That contract could hurt people or help them. So you don't know what's going to go on there. Now that Mr. Wilson came in there and got that contract, so now all these other guys, Dak's up, and they're going to want money. But they say, I didn't think Wilson was going to get all that. I didn't think they were going to. After that Super Bowl, I haven't seen him really do a whole bunch. They haven't. When he took them to that Super Bowl, he won that Super Bowl. Last couple of years, he got hurt that one year. He played on the hurt knee. He just hasn't been doing much. See how, now that the Legion of Boom is all gone, their defense isn't as strong as it was. And he hasn't really. I mean, he's been up there, but I give him a top 10, but I don't give him a top 5. I don't put him in that tier. I don't put him up there. I put him around where Joe is. Joe's probably 11, 12 now. He's not up there, but he's probably in the top, top 15, top, 11 years with us. He's produced, but I say the same thing with Wilson. Wilson's maybe 10. He's not that far ahead of Joe. I don't think he's up there that far, but that's my opinion, and I'm not a real guy looking at that stuff. I'm just talking trash. Dak would be all right, but he has the same thing. He's just not accurate. He misses some things that he should make. Sometimes he has nuts. He has good touch on the ball, but we'll see. Like I said, I like watching the draft this year. With us, it's going to be a whole new story. With the cost of taking over and the cost of values the picks. So, like I have been saying, we'll probably drop back out of the first round, pick up a couple more slots in the draft. I think they're going to give up their first round to somebody and get some more value out of the draft of what they need. The interior lineman, they need a pass rush. They need, they say that Peanut Oswalt is ready to take over for C.J. Mosley, so they're not too upset about losing the middle. They think the guys from within can step up. Young and Oswalt, Mr. Peanut, they think those guys will be viable guys to take care of the middle. And both when they got in there, Young's fast. He can go sideline to sideline. He can cover. Peanut, he's at one game where he was player of the week. I think it was against the Chiefs the first time. He had 2 sacks and forced fumble and all that stuff. So the middle of our Ravens defenses, I think we'll be fine. I don't think they need an inside linebacker. I think they need to get the pass rush. They need to get you might want a little more depth in some of those positions. Our defensive line, we've always been deep there. You got Pierce, you got Williams. Pierce is one of the guys in Football Focus. He's in the top 10 of defensive linemen. He had like 15 tackles behind the line of scrimmage last year, something like that. He's disruptive, both of them, him and Williams. And that's what helps in their defense. You got 2 guys that have to be blocked, that create double teams. That keeps that's how, I told you before, that's how Ray Lewis made all his money. Because Haloti Ngata had to pull a double team half the time and kept Mr. Lewis open. That's why he didn't want to change. He didn't want to change defenses at one time, because he knew if they changed from where they were, that middle, that wouldn't be there anymore. They wouldn't have to double team that big guy, and the middle wouldn't have been opened up for him. That's why he didn't want the defense to change. Lewis, that a couple times he complained that he didn't want to change the defense because he knew his job would get harder. Those guys that don't absorb the middle, you don't have free range because that lineman's coming out to block you, not blocking on the middle guy. And I'm waiting to see what this offense is going to look like, because they say that they're going to tailor it to Mr. They tailed it a little bit last year to Jackson. I want to see what kind of stuff they're putting in now, what Roman's going to put in. What kind of different things? The passing game, there wasn't a whole bunch of it in the passing game. See if they put a little bit more, downfield. See what receiver they're going to get. In those third rounds, they get 2 picks in the third round. One of them's going to be a receiver. One of them's going to be a offensive lineman somewhere. One of them's going to be in the fourth. In the sixth round, they get 2. So that's going to be somewhere they can pick up a good lineman. They can always pick up. They've always picked up good linebackers and linemen in the sixth round. There's still value in those rounds. So, and they say that the top, the second round has good picks, and the third round, it's not that far apart this year. That all the guys are pretty much equal. And if they go by value of what the guys was dropping down to him, it could be the guy from Florida, a defensive end. If he's there at 22, they might pick him instead of drafting back. It depends. I still think they draft back for more picks. Yeah, they say that Jackson put together an on the Flacco like preseason meeting that he was out there working on mechanics, passing to the receivers and stuff like that. So we'll see what that tallies up when it comes down to it. All right. Well, this was my afternoon sports talk. Thank you. Thanks everybody for coming on to Sports Talk with Mike Nasty, Rich, Kurt, Charlie. Who else is on here? Mr. Nick. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you for viewing Mike Nasty Sports Talk. It's just to have some fun, talk some sports, add a little bit of shine. Get the shine on. So that's what we do. Mike Nasty style. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. That's Mike Nasty Sports Talk. I tell you, I got YouTube too. I do Mike Nasty Fat Man workouts. Watch a fat man huff and puff. Go to YouTube and look up Mike Nasty. You'll see me huffing and puffing. I can barely get off the floor sometimes. That's the Fat Man, Mike Nasty. Everybody, see you later. It was Friday afternoon. Today is Jewish Passover, so I have to go to Passover dinner. That's why I did an afternoon delight. Afternoon delight. You know that. I said, you're gonna hold my baby, gonna hold her tight, gonna have a little afternoon delight. I said, Sky Robinson flight. I told you, afternoon delight. I'm gonna hold my baby, gonna hold her tight, gonna have a little afternoon delight. Sky Robinson flight. I said, afternoon delight. Take it easy, YouTubers. I'm gonna hold my baby, gonna hold